Dans le Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome. Sorry, I'm trying to get my stuff together. Um, yeah, I'm a little. It's been hot. It's supposed to be really hot here today. Yesterday we went to my niece's graduation, so I wasn't able to do this video. These videos. I have not had enough coffee, so I'm just kind of waking up. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, y'all. Another episode, experience, adventure of Cardweaver and Witch. Um, we're going to have fun. We're going to explore a really interesting card, I feel. We're gonna explore the Hierophant reversed. The Hierophant is another interesting card. I feel like people who are recovering from, you know, being a part of an Abrahamic religious experience. I think a lot have weird connections to the Hierophant. Um, I know I did starting out and learning and processing, but I also now have a better relationship with it, understanding more of it. Um, so the Hierophant Reversed pops up, and I always think like when this pops up, it's like organized religion and things with rules, and there's a way to do things, and following suit and all that stuff, right? But in reverse, it's slightly different. It's slightly different for sure. And so, the first aspect or first talking point today that I'd like to share is challenging conformity. The Hierophant reverse speaks to breaking away from traditional teachings and established norms. So like upright, like tradition, things that have been established. And so in reverse, we are sort of exploring the fact that maybe we need to break free from tradition. So there's a tradition in family or in a situation that yes, it's tradition, but then we find more and more um, as we grow in family, as we expand in awareness, as we educate ourselves, as we become no longer ignorant to certain things, that this tradition is quite problematic. It might be even hurtful to some of the members of the family, and so maybe this is something we need to sort of walk away from. Right. So instead of following the well-trodden path, this card encourages us, it encourages questioning and reevaluating the beliefs imposed by society or institutions. It invites us to think critically about the roles and rules we adhere to and whether they truly align with our personal values. So I really love when this card comes up in reverse now, and it's a major arcana card. So we know it's big. These are big things to sort of talk about. These are some really big things to talk about and to address. And I find that also in therapy, like unpacking these things is important. And so with the Hierophant reversed, we recognize like, oh, the importance to challenge what I'm conforming to. It's you know there are things in life right now that might need to be altered. I've been doing this without even thinking about it, right? Society, upbringing, all of that has programmed me to just be to exist without thinking about certain things. But then when I start to witness that maybe these things that I'm doing can be problematic, or what I'm adhering to might be a little more not inclusive, not making people around me that I care about feel good. And so, hey, let's challenge that. Maybe it's time to walk a different path. Maybe it's time to be aware of what I just take for granted, what I take for granted, and process differently, right? And so that's something that we consider when we're talking about the Hierophant Reversed, and role reversal. So something that can really benefit we can benefit from is occasionally adopt a role or viewpoint that is opposite to your usual stance during discussions or in decision making processes. This exercise can help you see the value and perspectives you typically disagree with, and might even reshape some of our long held beliefs. So I think that this can be really beneficial to us, like especially when we're going through something that we're processing, like, oh, maybe I need to not be doing this, or maybe I have a very very intense stance or belief about something, and someone has sort of like met that and challenged that. And before I get super defensive, maybe I can place myself in their awareness, and start to maybe unpack a little, like, oh, so who is this person, right? Who is this person that believes this, and why do they believe this? What was society like for them to create this belief, right? We don't have to believe the same thing that they believe, but having that role reversal would really helps us to sort of understand on some level. And then it helps us to navigate it as well, because sometimes we can feel so attacked and we can feel so hurt by things that people say. But then when we comprehend like their upbringing, and not to condone, it's not condoning or making excuses for poor behavior. It's simply allowing us to sort of like disconnect a little bit, where, oh, I recognize why that this person has these beliefs. And so by recognizing that, I actually can free myself from the chains attached here. Does that make sense? And so role reversal can actually really help out with the Hierophant reverse when it pops up. Artistic expression, we can use art to express dissent or explore nonconformist ideas. So whether through painting, writing, or any other form of creative expression, allow yourself to explore themes that go against the mainstream or your usual style. This kind of helps to really stimulate thinking outside of the box, or sometimes, again, with the Hierophant like upright, we get so rigid, we get so like matter of fact, and it has to be this way, and it has to be this way for everybody, and that's just not life. And so sometimes if we work with artistic expression, we start to channel like from a very raw place, and do things, maybe even utilize artistic express methods that are not something that we normally do. So maybe if we're a painter, we're really good at it, we normally paint. Maybe we need to maybe we write what we're visualizing, or we act out what we're visualizing, or what we see, or how we normally channel our artistic nature, right? Does that make sense? And so that can help as well. And consume differently, consume differently. So deliberately consume media, films, books, blogs, all of it from cultures or subcultures that are outside your normal scope. This can broaden your perspective. And I think it just betters us, right? Even if we're not part of a culture and we're not practicing, or we're just, we're observing, I think it's really important for us to have appreciation. I'm so grateful to have grown up where I did, because I have been like, exposed to so many different cultures, so many different people, so many different backgrounds, that I have an appreciation that I don't think I would have, naturally had if I was born elsewhere, right? And so this can broaden our perspective and challenge the mainstream narratives that we're accustomed to. So consume differently. And I do that a lot with music. I do it a lot with music. So um I'll listen to a lot of different music, like stuff that I don't like, from different countries and different people. And I may not understand, and sometimes I worry, like, oh, am I listening to something that's actually hating on me, or am I listening to something? But like, I listen to the music and I enjoy the beat, I enjoy how it sounds. I may not understand the lyrics or understand the language, and I don't that doesn't bother me as much, because I can appreciate how the different tones and the different way of speaking, and I love it. And I think that helps us. And with the Hierophant Reverse, it's like, look, let's learn to appreciate differences. Let's learn, and just because they're different for us, it's not different for the people living that experience, right? It's not. And so it's like, just because people are from a different background than us, it's different to our experience, but it's not different for them because it's their experience. And so why should we ask people to conform to our shit, right? When who are we? We are simply an individual, a people who are living here just like anyone else. So why are we asking someone to cater to our needs? You know what I mean? It's just weird. And so when the Hierophant Reverse pops up, we do discuss these things. We do learn to have more appreciation for different ways of communicating, for different artistic styles. Even if it's not for us, we can still learn to appreciate that it's for somebody, and to learn to, you know, have some role reversal, and try to see things from a different perspective, and understand that right now we are being challenged, to our what we conform to. You know, our conformity is being challenged, where, hey, we need to do things differently, or we might need to stop, you know, stop the path that we're on, because it's not very helpful to what we seek to create and facilitate. And so we need to do different, right? Right. So let me get a little sippy sip over here, some coffee. I don't know why I did that. Don't ask me. I haven't had enough, so like, yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Mhm. And so the second talking point today, for the Hierophant Reverse, is embracing personal beliefs. And so this reversal, okay, this reversal highlights the importance of developing and trusting our own spiritual and moral compass. It suggests a journey of internal exploration where personal beliefs are more significant than external approval. So important. We are encouraged to explore what spirituality means on a deeply personal level beyond the dogmas that have been handed down to us. So important, so important. I gosh, am I gonna talk about this? Yes. We're gonna talk about this. So, like, I have seen so much ignorance. Um, I'm in this group, which I love. There's so many great people and questions, and people to engage with. I'm in this witchy group. And someone posted like happy pride, and the ignorance and the hate. Oh my gosh, y'all, to see such foolishness. People are like, well, no, it's this month and it's this month. And I'm like, okay, first of all, y'all, when we talk about pride, it does, just because someone said happy pride, it doesn't mean you can't say happy mental health awareness month, or whatever else it is. Because someone is sharing what they wanted to share, it does not take away from other people. Does that make sense? And so, like, it's so interesting to me that people, that's the first thing they go to. And it's usually people are always combating when it's Black History Month, when it's something to do with pride, when it's something to do with indigenous, or minority group. If it's like, oh, it's Grandparents Day, ain't no one saying shit about that. Oh, it's a month of, we're celebrating cake this month. Ain't no one saying shit about that. But like, you talking about, um yeah, anyways. So it's like, you see all of this ignorance, but people don't come, and this is where the Hierophant Reverse pops in. It's like, oh, my belief needs to be shifting. I need to realize, like, just because someone is celebrating something, it doesn't take away from other things. And it doesn't mean that we can't also share in honor and celebration of other places, other things, other, peoples, right? It doesn't. And another ignorant fact that we will express today is like, a lot of people are like, it's not about, why do we have to have a month celebrating people's sexuality or sexual preference? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with sex, people. Like, pride, it's not that. Like, the ignorance in the conversations or in the things that people are spewing, it's like, that's not what it's about. I mean, that's not it's just not. And the fact that you think that, the fact that you believe that, the fact that you're choosing to be ignorant about that, shows exactly why such conversations need to happen, why we need to celebrate people, why we need to uplift people, and all of that. And so, anyways, so with the Hierophant reverse, the reversal highlights the importance of developing and trusting our own spiritual moral compass. Like I said, it suggests a journey of internal exploration where personal beliefs are more significant than external approval. So this is expressing where we need to find like what is right for us. We need to find our own personal guidance system and realize like, oh, I don't really need right now other people to tell me what to do. I need to know where I'm headed in my own life, and I need to find my compass that I can stick to. So navigating these murky waters, navigating this ignorance that is spewed from outside sources, like I still know who I am, and I know what I'm about, and I know what I stand by, and I can converse, and I can express, and I can still be me throughout that, right? Does that make sense? And it's a time where we understand, oh, wow, I always thought this about this subject because this is what I've always been exposed to. This is what I've always been told. And now that you're telling me something different, I'm going to take that into consideration. I'm going to actually explore that more, right? I'm going to learn about that so I can actually have a better informed decision or opinion or perception. I want to be better. I want to be a better person. I want to learn more. I want to educate myself. I don't want to be ignorant. And so this is like I need to be mindful of who I am, right? Who I choose to be, right? And so, create a vision board. Create a vision board that represents your personal beliefs and aspirations. This visual representation can serve as a daily reminder of your core values and help you align your daily actions with your personal ethos. And so I feel like this is a really cool way to get out into the world. Like, this is who I am. Like, these are my core beliefs, and change it up. Like, when you recognize like this core belief needs to change, like it's no longer a part of me, shift it up. And so get like words of power, put that on your vision board or your Pinterest board, whatever, put that on your board. And this is like at my core, this is who I want to be, this is who I strive to be, loving, accepting, compassionate, whatever it is. Put the actual word, and then put visuals, like expressions of what that word makes you feel, and put that on your vision board. Create it. The Hierophant Reverse is like, get creative, put this out there so you can channel that energy, and you can be by that energy and express it and share that with the world, right? So statements, right? Write clear and concise personal belief statements and review them regularly. This practice helps solidify your beliefs and serves as a guide during times of decision making. I think we don't give as much credit to this as we should. We just kind of navigate the world moving forward, but we don't really assess and address our beliefs, our programs regularly. And I think that that is actually important. Write statements of what you believe and who you are, and check in, like, is this still valid? Do I still feel right about this, right? Address it and see if it's outdated. If it's outdated, you can have a cool ritual and like burn it and whatever and let it go, and then write something new that will replace it. Yeah. So that's something to consider. That's something to use to tap into the power of the Hierophant Reversed. Ethics. Set up weekly challenges for yourself that align with your beliefs. For example, if you value sustainability, challenge yourself to zero waste weeks. Or if you value kindness, make it a point to perform random acts of kindness regularly. And so I feel you see how these like actionable things can be used to sort of take the tarot card and make more of it, like it's a living breathing thing, experience. And so these are really cool, especially if we read for others, really cool things to share with our clients. The Hierophant Reversed, when it pops up, this is what is being shared with, this is what's being asked of us. And so when we're learning to create and follow our own personal values and ethics and beliefs, we can start solidifying them by creating that vision board, by making those statements, and asking ourselves what are our ethics and who are we, and then try to find ways to play those out during a week or a month or a day or whatever, and following through. Okay. And so um, the last talking point today for the Hierophant Reversed is, potential pitfalls of unorthodoxy. That's another thing we have to talk about, because in reverse, it's like, oh, let's travel a different path. It's not, let's not follow that sort of tradition. Let's not follow that organized religion. It's time, let's get rid of all of those rules and regulations, and let's follow something new. Let's go on a different path, which can be scary. It can be challenging. There can be, issues with that too. So a blend of both is really great. So while the Hierophant Reverse champions individuality and personal freedom, it also warns us of the dangers, such as becoming too isolated in one's beliefs or rejecting useful traditions without careful consideration. So when we're creating our own beliefs, when we're focusing on our own path, I think we do this a lot too. Like, we say, well, that's not our experience, that's not my belief, and so that means the rest of the world, like, it's not real, right? Like, well, that's not my experience, which means, like, it takes history. Like, we're saying, oh, all of this history, all of this research, all of this data is inaccurate because my personal belief says so. That's scary territory. We can still hold space, like, oh, in my experience and my belief, this isn't true, right? I haven't found that to be true, but I recognize I'm just one person out of the many who say otherwise. And so I hold space for the other to be true and accurate. And my experience tells differently, but it doesn't say that that other is wrong. Does that make sense? It urges a balanced approach where one can remain open to new ideas without losing sight of the wisdom and established practices. And so I think that with the Hierophant in reverse, there is this thing where we have to be mindful that, data, research, science, things that have like belief and backing and support for what is being expressed, there's value in that. There's value in organization. There's value in structure. There's value in long-standing tradition. But we don't have to have one or the other. We can say, yeah, let's still do this family tradition, but you know what? Let's do it in a different way, right? We have a new, like, we're walking a different path. We're gonna do something differently, and so we'll need to, let's still have a tradition that we celebrate and we honor, but let's do so in a way that we make up, that we do, that fits within our own ethics, right? That's important. Feedback loop. So establish a trusted feedback loop with close friends or mentors who can provide honest feedback about your unorthodox choices. This feedback can help you stay grounded and avoid the echo chamber effect. So it's important, like, when we're veering off course and we're trying to sort of like discover our own path, I think it's really good to have people around us that will support that, right? They're not saying, oh, you need to get back over here. They're saying, I support your growth, I support your exploration, and I'm there to encourage and uplift and provide you what you need on this, whatever you need from us, we'll do. But also, we have those people who are like, you know what, this is a little culty, right? This is a little something. Maybe you need to pull back a little, or maybe you need to use some critical thinking here, and a little better than what you're doing. Excuse me. And so we need a feedback loop. So people we trust are so important for this. So it's a great thing to have in place where people can pull us back and, like, you know what, this is getting a little bit out there. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's talk about it. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I'm just like, I don't, let's talk about what's going on. Case study is really cool. So study historical or current figures who have taken unorthodox paths. Analyze both their successes and their failures to better understand when nonconformity is effective and when it might lead to undesired outcomes. I think this is like, people like a tried and true, and this is where we have to kind of do that research. Yes, if we're doing something, we want to do something a little differently, go explore that. But sometimes it's like, let's go back to the original, let's go back to the origin, and that tried and true method may be better, right? It may be better. And so let's learn why it's better than all of these other things that we're trying to do, to make it different or to just have a different experience. So let's study what people's successes are and what their failures or challenges are, so we can have a better working understanding of what is for us. And I think that's really cool too. It's like, okay, if we try something, if we go off on a path and it's like, oh, it's not right for us, it's not. I've learned some stuff here, and it's great, and it's great to be educated, but I've realized it's not for me. And we have to be okay with saying that. Like, it's not for me. And get back to what is for us. Experimentation. Regularly experiment with balancing traditional and unconventional approaches in small, manageable ways in your personal or professional life. For instance, combine conventional methods with innovative ideas in a project and observe the outcomes, adjusting as necessary. So with this aspect of the card, it's really saying let's blend tradition with new stuff, with exciting stuff, with stuff that we want to explore. It's like, okay, in astrology, I'm learning this, but I kind of wonder how like magic, like the magical application of the planets, how that factors in. Let me see if I can explore that. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That doesn't. Let's get back to the foundation of the planets and what they mean, and then let me go back from there. It's helping us to recognize we can blend, we can take the structure from foundational or traditional practices or experiences or whatever, and we can add on different unconventional things and see if it works well together or if it doesn't. But we won't know until we try. And if we try and try, and it's like, you know what, something's just not fitting, well, we can find a new approach. Let's go back to that foundation. Let's go back to that sort of like tradition that was working, that has that stability. And then from that point, let's try something else. Right. And so there's that last aspect of the Hierophant Reversed. Uh, I like that. I like it a lot. I like the aspects we've covered today. I hope that you can take something from it and use it, make it yours. But I hope that it gives you something to work with at least. The Hierophant definitely says, you know what? It's time to focus on our personal beliefs. It's time to understand, you know, when to blend tradition and foundation and what is working with like newness. It's also important to ask ourselves and adhere to being to listening to when we're wrong, like, oh, you know what, this is where we're ignorant. We need to not feel some type of way for it. Let's be like, okay, yeah, that's true. Let me get better. Let me not be, let me educate, right? um the Hierophant Reverse also says it's time to kind of go against the grain. It's time to figure out your own path, and that means maybe being a little rough around the edges right now until you figure out what that means for you. And it's okay. And it's okay to blend foundational stuff and traditional stuff with as you navigate how you want to participate in this world. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope that you enjoy these. Let me know if you do. Comment and share your thoughts. I will talk to you. What is today? Wednesday. Okay, I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.